Alright, so a lot has changed since my last video that wasn't me messing around with the newly banned card Underworld Breach, and this is the list I was playing pre-Breach ban, and I've not played too much since Breach ban. I was doing a lot of testing pre-Breach ban because I had a tournament coming up, which I did. I'd managed to play myself out of top 8 because I thought I was forced to play the game, but I could have ID'd in the last round. I'm terrible at tiebreakers, but basically I'm an idiot. But the tournament actually went okay. This was what I was messing with. There's a few interesting cards here. So we've gone down to 1 Ox of Agonis. 2 felt too much. Still have 1 main deck Dread Return. I've thought a lot about going back to the 4th Icarid and replacing this Dread Return with an Icarid, but with the sideboard strategy I'm kind of going with at the moment, having 2 Dread Returns is kind of good. So I'd probably want to put the second Dread Return in the board if I did that. Yeah. But I'll talk about the sideboard in a second. So we're talking pretty standard stuff, standard mana base, 1 Lotus Petal. I've thought about cutting down a gemstone mine and going up a City of Brass. There have been times when gemstone mine's been quite awkward recently. With Ox of Agonis, I think you could make the argument that having lands that stick around has become a premium. So I'm considering going up to a 3rd City of Brass, but this mana base hasn't really changed. I mean, I copied this mana base when I started playing the deck, and I've not felt too much need to change it. If anything, some people say you can get away with 12 lands. I completely disagree. I think 12 lands is... I mean, just play the deck. You'll find that you'll have hands that where you want more lands, or you don't have the right lands more than you care for, and that to me tells me that the deck would be better going up to 14 lands, which is where this 1 Lotus Petal I think has came from. I've been loving the Lotus Petal main deck. I think it's pretty much correct. I did try 2 Lotus Petals for a while. In fact, before Ox of Agonis was printed, I had 4 Icarids, and then the Ox didn't exist, and there was no main deck Dread Return, and I had the second Petal main. So we got 2 Putrid Imps, 2 Careful Studies, 3 Putrid Imps. That's pretty normal. It's pretty much just the Ox and the Dread Return. Ox and Dread Return work well together. Dread Return, I don't think is an especially good main deck card. In fact, it's awful. Another Ica would be much better, but it sort of plays into the strategy of against like combo decks. This was specifically against Breach. You bring in the ley lines, obviously, and then you bring in the second Dread Return and the Iona, and your plan was basically go off as soon as possible, aim to hit either Ox or Iona and one of the Dread Returns, and then just Dread Return that, and then hopefully the Ox will find you the Iona and the second Dread Return, and then you could just play Iona on blue and pretty much lock them out of the game. Rest of the sideboard, gone down a Wismare, up to Nature's Claim. This was pre-Breach stuff as well. People were playing so much random stuff, so many ley lines from random decks, and then some decks were playing ley lines plus other stuff. The meta just got a bit warped. I considered going back to the 4th Wismare, and I had a Singleton chain there. I might go back to that. The Singleton chain was sort of a card that was useful against Black Red Reanimator, as well as being okay against the Stompy decks, but chain is really bad against 4-color Loam, and I think that's actually a pretty big deck in the meta right now, so maybe it's better to have a Nature's Claim instead of as the 5th card instead of a Chain of Vapor. So Iona for Storm decks and was for Breach, and then 1 Lotus Petal to go fast. Then the interesting card is Oko, Thief of Crowns. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I didn't do. Partly the reason I didn't do it was because Oko was really expensive on Magic Online, and I was waiting for him to get banned in a lot of formats before I picked him up because I just thought it was a bit of a meme, and I didn't really want to waste tickets on something that I thought was pretty funny. My first initial draft was like 3 Okos or 4 Okos or something stupid in the board, and just because I thought it would be funny to see if I could get a list with 4 Okos in the board on the deck list dump. I might still try and do that because I think it'd be a laugh. You could probably just cut the ley line of the voids. There's so little graveyard hate in the format right now. You could probably get away with it, or cut the ley line of sanctities. There's not really that much bog either, but Oko is the reasoning for the Oko. It looks like a meme. It is a meme. However, the thing with Oko is that sometimes you just don't know, one, what you're up against, and two, what hate they're going to bring in. Especially pre-breach ban, there were a lot of delvers playing ley lines, but delvers also sometimes play cage, and sometimes they just have surgicals. And you don't really want to bring in claims. Like, you can bring in claims, but have fun trying to cast claim. Same with the control decks. Sometimes they were playing rest in pieces, like 4 of them. Sometimes they were playing surgicals and snapcasters. Sometimes they were playing, some of them were even playing cage. Oko's just like, you know what, I don't care. You can do what you want. You can multi or hate. You can multi like 1 card, think you're really smart because you've got ley lines and delver decks, and I don't sideboard for that. But if you just drop an Oko just changes the dynamic of the game. Oko can single-handedly win games. It has no graveyard synergy. It's single-handedly both an answer and a threat, and it generates value on its own. It can answer cards like Cage, and it's a must counter for every single deck. So I like to think of it like, before you'd side in something like against Miracles or 4-color control, you'd side in Silent Gravestones, which are absent from this sideboard. And the reason for that is, well, what's the point of bringing in Silent Gravestones if your Miracles opponent has like 4 rips in the board, or your 4-color control opponent's playing ley lines? Like, you can do it, but then you look like an idiot when you keep your hand with a Silent Gravestone and they ley line you. Oko doesn't care. Oko doesn't care. They have to counter Oko or they lose. Or they have to answer Oko. But the thing is, game 2, they take out a lot of their answers to things like Oko. Like, 4-color control has 4-color control has Abrupt Decay. But I mean, who keeps Council's Judgment in post-board and Miracle's side? I've not looked at the Miracle's boardings, but I imagine Council's Judgment's like bottom of the list of cards you want to keep in post-board. Oko Thief of Crowns is just incredible. So the Silent Gravestones went to make room for an Iona and an Oko, and it's been all right. It's been doing good work. I've been having mixed results, but mostly I've been playing badly with the Oko because I'm not used to playing with Oko. I've not got many reps with him. I've made some poor decisions on things to elk and lost games because of it. But hopefully we'll see some games with Oko and I won't mess up this time. And it's fun. It's stupid. My quest is to get a 5-0 deck dump with an Oko in the board, and then hopefully get one with like 3 Okos in the board, and then people will get annoyed because they think that only blue decks get to play the fun cards like Oko. Oko's castable in this deck. You do have to be aware of it. I wouldn't tend to go below 13 and 1 petal when I try and cast him. I feel like you need 14 mana sources to consistently cast a 3 mana card. The other thing about Oko is that you can't play the Islet mana base with Oko because there's not enough green sources. But as it stands, with the colour balance that it is, by the time you've got 3 mana, you almost always have a green. So, yeah, Oko I think's fun. Hopefully we'll get to see it in these games, and yeah, that's all. Alright, round 1. Let's have some fun. Cast some Okos. Sorry, just moving a plate off my desk, making a big noise of it. This hand's a keep because it contains the card Lion's Eye Diamond, and it contains a land, and it contains a loot spell. There's more to it than that, but I mean, it's got 2 lands. This hand's good, even though it doesn't have a dredger. It's like pretty much all you can ask for. This guy's mulliganing. People tend to mulligan a lot versus me just because they know my name. I should start. I've been playing a bit of TES just for fun. I'm terrible at it, but maybe I should start playing it in League so people stop pigeonholing me, though I expect they will anyway. TES doesn't really play that different. I just like combo decks. Combos where the fun's at. So, what have we got? Malta 6, Ponder, Volcanic Island, probably Delver. Oh, sick. I probably won't rush this though. This hand's so good I don't need to rush this. Alright. Yeah, I just didn't want to get blown out by Force of Negation there, because, I mean, maybe he's a combo deck and he just combos me. I mean, Wasteland kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, if he had Force of Negation there, he'd kind of blow me out, and when the rest of the hand's so good, like, what's the point in letting yourself get blown out like that? It's, like, not worth it. Especially when I have the readies on Delver. Like, this is game 1 as well. I'm not really playing against any height. I could try and cast Ox of Agonis here, and that's probably the correct play, but I mean, like, the chances of, like, the way I see myself lose here is I crack this, try and cast Ox, it gets countered, and then I dredge terrible, and then lose. What's going on here? I think there's enough that we can get away with just cracking Cephalid Colosseum and just ending the game. I think this is our opening. Like, yeah, you can get fancy and cast Ox, and it's more powerful, but this is good enough. And especially game 1, I don't really care. I just want to win, and the easiest way to win is not let them count on my spells, because that's what Delver likes to do, counter spells. And I hit the Dread Return of the Ox of Agonis anyway, so you might just get to have some fun. So Lightning Bolt's the most scary card, obviously. Lightning Bolt's generally the most scary card because they can use it to get rid of your they can use it to get rid of your bridges, obviously. Sorry, that took me. I was having a thinking about sideboarding. So what have I done with the sideboarding? Take out a breakthrough. That's pretty standard. Take out Dread Return with Hogak and Ox and Icarid. It reaches like peak how much stuff there is. Like, sometimes Dread Return's useful, but at the end of the day, what's more useful all the time? Having a Lotus Petal or a Oko Thief of Crowns, or having a this hand's close to a mulligan, but I don't think I will, just because it's got Lion's Eye Diamond and Careful Study. That's how highly I value Lion's Eye Diamond. I think any hand with a Lion's Eye Diamond you should value higher, and then having Lion's Eye Diamond and Loot Spell. I mean, we've got a lot of active draws. Like, yeah, there's one of the good draws we could have got there. We got another Careful Study. He should counter this. generally it's almost always correct to counter the Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm expecting this to get countered now, probably dazed. The other thing about not force pitching daze, wow. I would have dazed there since I didn't crack the LED, but I guess he knows what he's doing. Another good thing about this hand, it had lots of lands, so wasting me does very little here. That's a really good draw. We keep drawing great. I'm going to lead Careful Study just because I don't want to get Force of Negation if he has a Force of Negation. Unless he has like a Surgical or he top decks Cage, I think we've pretty much got this game locked up now. One card on the bottom, one card on top. Probably put the Preordain on top. If he Surgicals my Golgari Thug, I'm not too concerned. Oh no, we dredged our Oko. Okay, so I'm actually not going to crack the LED in response to the Faithless Looting. Just because, one, I want him to think we've got more stuff in hand. Like, it reveals information, and also, like, this is only bad if we brick on dredges. And I didn't feel like we were going to brick on dredges there. That was more of a feeling than anything. You do, after a while, kind of get a feel of how, because like, if he has Force of Negation and he Force of Negations the looting there after I crack the Lion's Eye Diamond, that's just terrible. Whereas if we brick on dredges, that's not as terrible as just getting blown out, because if we don't crack the LED, it means we have the other land. And also, I was like, based on the number of cards we had in graveyard and the number of cards in hand, how deep we were in deck, we were quite likely to hit another dredger there, given that we'd only seen one. So I could just crack here and get Oxyvagonus, but I kind of like just Cabal Therapying first to make sure that the Ox definitely resolves. Just in case he's sandbagging Force of Will or something that he doesn't want to use. Okay, just scoops. Oh, that was easy. Didn't get to use Oko, sadly. Alright, round 2. On the play. Not good. Only 1 mana source. If anything gets countered, oh no, I mean, you don't want to lead Careful Study. This is a mole. This is a mole. No draw spells. This is a mole. No dredger. If this had a dredger, I'd consider keeping it. But as it stands, this is a mole. Oh god. I think I'll go to 3 rather than this. It got no draw spells. It's got dredgers and it's got lands, but I can go to 3, get a loot. Okay. I mean, this is the best hand we've seen, I'm pretty sure. Questions, do I keep the LED or the City Brass? I am inclined to keep the LED and just go for it. I mean, fair enough. What would we have drawn if we kept the looting? We'd have drawn Gemstone Mine and Narcomoeba. Not the best. This could be worse though. At least we got a clock. This looks like Maverick, and we brick on dredges, so yikes. This is not good for us. Drawing Putrid there is pretty good though. However, I don't think we're winning this. I'm not going to scoop though because I want some more information. Not sure we're winning this. I don't think we can beat a better skull here, but I'll play it out because I've won sillier games. What's going on here? Scrib Ranger. This is Scrib Ranger. I'm going to scoop because Scrib Ranger is too powerful. Scrib Ranger is way too strong. Scrib Ranger, boys. Oh my god. Right, well I'm scooping, I can't beat Scrib Ranger. See the Scrib Ranger, you have to scoop. So Maverick can be on ley lines. They can also just be on useless cards. So for that reason, Oko is great. Ashen Rider, take out the Putrid Imps. Bring in the Lotus Petals, you want to go fast. You could take out the Hogak. I think Hogak's actually somewhat mediocre in the matchup because of... Hogak's great, but also not great. I don't know. I'll probably take out a Golgari Thug. This sideboarding's a mess, but I want to go fast, and I want to bring in Rider, and I want to be able to turn one them. And I also don't want to get blown out by ley lines, so I'm bringing in one Oko Thief of Crowns. If I see they don't have ley lines, I'll probably take out the Oko and bring the 4th Thug in. I kind of don't like taking out the 4th Thug, but the other option is taking out Hogak or taking out an Icarid. I don't really like either of those. I could take out a Gemstone Mine, I guess, but I also kind of don't like that as well. Maybe that's better actually. I do really value having the full 12 dredges now. Yes, Sneep. And before he ley lines me and I lose. Such is the current state of the metagame. Wheeze. Oh my god. This is what I mean. I've considered just sideboarding as if Maverick always has ley lines. That's also kind of what the nature's claims are for, but Maverick generally doesn't have anything else that gets nature claimed except leyline. Like, they generally don't run Rest in Peace, they generally don't run Cage, they sometimes run Tormod's Crypt, but generally they either have Macabres or Surgicals or Leylines. So, I mean, I could have brought in the claims, but that didn't seem very good. I mean, we could top deck Oko. Like, we could seriously just top deck Oko. Guess his hand must be a bunch of 3-drops. Do I break through X's 1 crack for green, crack for blue, hope to top deck Oko? I don't think that's a winning strat. Even if we get Oko there, like, what do I do? Elk and Noble Hierarch, my Oko takes 4. I've got no... have to make a food. He's playing Scoose, like, I'm gonna ever answer those ley lines. Okay, well, I mean, we got the lands for Oko. I value... well, these cards are pretty useless. Ox is actually conceivably castable. Could keep Ox on the pedal. Maybe that's better, actually. Digs 3. Gives me a 4-2. The other options keep Breakthrough. I kind of like keeping Breakthrough and pedal more. I don't think the Ox is going to win the game. I'm going to play out pedal. The great thing about Oko is that Oko can elk Lion's Eye Diamond. That's power, son. If I top deck a land, I'm going to feel like a right pleb for losing the Ox, but what can you do? Yeah, I knew he had a Knight of the Reliquary. Oh, nice. Max punished. Give me that Oko. Oh no. Oh, I should have kept a careful stay. Whoops, I thought I was only keeping one card there. There's not much going on here. We're just getting dunked on. Hoping to draw Oko. It may look bad, but Oko probably wins on this board. I mean, I'll block and I'll block, I guess. Oh, here's another light, the reliquary, nice. And a third light, the reliquary, nice. Let's see what we draw before we lose. Okay, alright, well, we didn't side for ley lines and we lost, so that's what we get. Round 3. This is great. Leading Putrid Imp, because why not? I'll play out the land here and loot. I have a couple of options here. The main question is it a combo deck? If it is a combo deck, do I care? And is he sandbagging Force of Will? I guess the answer to that last question is probably no. I'll attack with Putrid Imp first. I think I'm going to discard the Cabal Therapy and flashback at targeting him. Probably naming like Dark Ritual or something. Okay. Fast concede. Flooded Strand, Snow-Covered Island makes me think it's probably just Miracles. In which case I will sideboard for Miracles. Pretty much by just doing that. I've considered bringing in a Nature's Claim, taking out one of these, but I don't think that's necessarily correct, especially not in the blind. Like, I don't know for sure it's Miracles. Oh, this is a keep. Right, well, let's get blown out, I guess. You got force negation, you got force negation. Okay, alright, sure. Sometimes that happens, I guess. Well then, round 4. Peter van der Ham. Recently he's generally known for playing Delver. Some form of Delver. This hand I don't especially like versus Delver. It's not the worst, but it's also not the best. This hand I actually don't hate against Delver. That seems funny, but I really dislike Cabal Therapy myself, but okay. I'm not just going to play into the Spell Pierce. Waste of time. I know it's there, I gain nothing from doing it. If I had another land I might throw the Breakthrough into the Spell Pierce, but it's doing nothing right now. You'll need to draw another land. Yeah, alright. Oh my god. Sure. Oko's a problem, but not the end of the world. Oh my god. Getting bolted. Yeah, I might just be dead. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have kept this hand. Let's get countered, I guess. Okay, that didn't go very well. Just gonna board like this. I know this guy's list. He posted it on Twitter. It's a weird amalgamation of Delver and Astrolabe and Oko and nonsense in the board. He doesn't have very much grave hate. He's got standard Delver stuff and one Soul Guide Lantern and one Return to Nature. So 2 Surgicals, 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 Return to Nature. I'm just going to board like this. Don't like this. Don't like this. I like this. Keep. I'm gonna actually go bottom this. I'm gonna bottom this, I think. That's a lot of respect. Force of negotiating the LED. Most people would not do that. I think that's correct. I could get wastelanded here and max punished, but I think discarding mana confluence is quite a strong play. Maybe I get counterspelled again. Hopefully he doesn't draw that one of Soul Guide Lantern. My Icarid, no. I'm actually not going to crack this now, just in case I hit an Archimever off of this and he has Surgical. Amazing! This, my friends, is why you have Oko Thief of Crowns in your Dredge deck. Let's get blown out, I guess. Sure. Just play into the days. Sure. I'm fine with that trade. I mean, I could have sandbagged the LED there. There's an argument to be made. I should have done that, given how my hand is. Cast the Oko. Let's see what happens. No! That's rude. That's just rude. I guess that's what we deserve. So let me do some counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I sandbag it? I think it's better to actually take the draw and then crack afterwards. Even better. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, I think we win this game now. Shame we didn't get to resolve Oko, because that would have been great. But it does have a habit of getting countered. But it is just one of those cards that it's just like... You resolve it and it's like... God damn, the game just ends. The card's just disgusting. Yeah, that's fine. I'll eat a looting, I guess. Oh. Press cancel, not okay. There we go. Yikes. I think it's correct to just cast this again. I hate the UI for trying to exile 8 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4. What? Pop that back. Just gonna make all of my graveyard. Yeah, I don't think there's a card in his deck that will beat this. But it's always good to make the maximum amount of power possible, just in case there's something you haven't thought of. Like, there's no reason not to. If they don't want to watch you do it, they can just scoop. It's a whatever, you know. You have to do as much as you can in the turn, because Dredge is a deck that does its thing and then just has to pass a turn. But the game's generally decided before then. So yeah, we managed to win games 2 and games 3 there. Managed to get Oko in as well, which was fun. Good games, actual games, unlike. Alright, round 5 against Orem, of all people. I believe he's actually been playing Dredge recently. I mean, this is a keep, but if he's on Dredge, this isn't a very good hand. But I can't just assume what he's on. Well, this hand's a keep in just about every matchup. Oh, he's on Belcher. Okay, in that case, I'm probably just dead. Let's look. Can I count? We got Tiger, we got Seething Song, we got Burning Wish, we got Goblin Charbelcher. Yeah, I'm actually just dead. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, that's about how I expect it goes. So this is a funny matchup. It's all about going as fast as possible, as well as throwing in some disruption. I actually don't hate Leyline of the Void in the matchup. Hogak's not the best card, but the thing about Hogak is that it lets you Dread Return easier, so I'm inclined to keep it in. It's not quite good enough. Probably a keep. I'm going to do something a bit funny. I'm going to lead LED. I'm going to Cabal Therapy him, name LED. Because, I mean, if he keeps a 7, he probably has a Lion's Eye Diamond in it. There we go. So he can make a bunch of goblins. Top decked Echo Eons, which is good that I took the LED. However, I'm still going to eat a bunch of 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of goblins. 12 goblins, not ideal. Okay. So I can try and do stuff this turn, or I can just try and do a really big turn next turn. I think it's actually better to take the damage and try and do a really big turn next turn. It's not hard to get 12 goblins. So I don't really want to discard his Echo of Eons. I'll name, I don't know, Gob. Oh, nice. Just chatting with Orim about the reasoning for why I did what I did, which I probably should have just said since I was narrating what I was doing. Did he see my... I don't know if he saw my Leyline of the Void. Might do that on the play. I mean, I might be able to choose a win with the Leyline of Sanctity. You might just have Echo of Eons. What is this he's doing? Gamble for Echo of Eons? Discards gamble. Lion's Eye Diamond into Echo. Okay. Empty the Warrens. Ugh. That's horrendous. Might just lose, I think. Oh no. Yeah, we're just dead. Ugh, frustrating. Yeah, this is just it's just a weird matchup. Like there's so much like weird stuff. It's hard to know what's best. Like maybe leaning on the Leyline of Sanctity was too much there, but I mean he could have gambled for Charbelcher and just killed me there. I actually couldn't because he didn't have. But yeah, he gambled for empty with another gamble in hand. Yeah, because I guess the other gamble would let him get Echo. Yeah. Yeah, I can't beat this. Oh well, 3-2. Losing to Belch is a bit whatever. Fun games. Fun games. We lost to Maverick that double leyline does after we mauled to 3-game 1, and we lost to Charbelcher, which is kind of a coin flip matchup. Being on the play or the draw matters a lot. Yeah, it went fun. We had a good time. Let's look at the deck. Let's look at the deck. Yeah, went well. We didn't get to use any of this stuff. I mean, we brought in Leylines against Belcher, but it's whatever. The reason I bring Leylines in against Belcher is just to try and turn off Echo, because sometimes they just keep Echo hands when they mull low, and sometimes that's often more scary than them just belchering you, because they can't easily belcher you like turn 1 a lot of the time unless they draw the absolute nuts, though sometimes they just nut draw you. It just sort of turns off one thing that can be a problem. It can also just echo your hand away into something awful. As like a 1 or 2 of, it's like a reasonable card to bring in. Same with Leyline of Sanctity. I mean, as you saw there, it did absolutely nothing because they just killed you with enough goblins, but you could see how if he had a Belcher hand, that would have been fine. I'm not annoyed about bringing in the Leyline of Sanctity though. I don't think any of the cards we took out would have been better than Leyline of Sanctity there, but maybe we shouldn't have kept that hand. But I mean, on the draw, even if we keep a turn 1, we could just die. Like, he could have gone for a Belcher or he could have gone for an Echo. He had a lot of options of what he could have done there. Yeah, we got to cast Oko. Oko was good. Nature's Claim was fine. Whisper was good. Yeah, overall, I mean, we didn't bring in the Nature's Claims, but it would have been okay in a couple of spots. Yeah, I think that ran well. Still tweaking the list, seeing how it's going. Hope you enjoyed the video.